The summer 2024 Olympics are now underway, and since they've started, there's one thing that everybody has been talking about, and it has nothing to do with the sports or the athletes. It's Gojira. And when I say everybody has been talking about this, I truly mean that. This isn't just our little pocket corner of the music world with all the metalheads going nuts. I've been seeing mainstream news outlets doing full write-ups about this performance. My 66-year-old dad texted me when it was happening and was like, dude, Gojira is playing the opening ceremonies at the Olympics right now. So this is a big deal, and everybody's making a big deal about how they're the first metal band to play at the Olympics. And it kind of made me do a double take in my head for a second, because I was like, what, are we just not gonna remember that Nickelback played at the 2010 Winter Olympics? We're going out today to kick out every line, to get anything we want, drink everything inside. Yeah, I hear you guys through the screen. Nickelback's not metal. I get it. I will die on that hill that they are, but I digress from the point because it's kind of a joke. Like, Gojira is considerably heavier than Nickelback. We all know that. So this is a big deal. This is really cool that a band like them is on not just a national stage, like a world stage in front of millions of people. Now, from what I understand, there's a lot of cool production in this performance, and there's a lot of imagery and stuff too. If you can't tell, I haven't watched it yet. I just felt like this would be something cool to do before I leave for tour in a couple days. There's nothing planned for this. I'm just going to let the camera go and check it out. I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to show due to copyrights and stuff, but I want to watch it. I want to talk about some of the production things that I noticed and maybe cover the background of some of the imagery as we go, as I read things and see things and stuff like that. But I'm stoked about this, man. But real quick, before we fully dive into this, let's just take a quick moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video, longtime sponsors of the channel, our friends over at NordVPN. Now, if you're regular on the channel or you're online a lot, you've no doubt heard of NordVPN, and they are still the fastest VPN or virtual private network on the planet. And they also help keep you safer online. It'll protect you from malware, ransomware, man-in-the-middle attacks, and it has a built-in ad blocker. And right now, we're in the middle of summer. There's tons of festivals, concerts, sporting events being streamed online. Sometimes those things are blocked and you can't see them in the area that you're in. One of the best things about using NordVPN is that you can virtually teleport anywhere in the world and access those things that you may want to watch. I do this all the time while I'm on tour, even just connecting back closer to home while I'm traveling in Europe so I can watch my favorite shows on my streaming services. So whether you want to stay safer online, closer connected to home while you're traveling, or virtually travel somewhere else in the world and keep up with your favorite shows, head over to nordvpn.com/TankTheTech. And if you sign up for their 2-year plan right now, you'll get 4 additional months for free. You'll also get the safety of Threat Protection Pro, even when you're not connected to a VPN. And it's all backed by NordVPN's free 30-day money-back guarantee. So thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. And now let's jump back in. All right, let's dive into this. I should probably put on my in-ears first.
A few moments later.
And also adjust my audio so I don't die. Okay, now let's go.
Ça ira, ça ira, ça ira. Les aristocrates à la lanterne. Ça ira, ça ira, ça ira. Les aristocrates, on les pendra.
Holy sh**. Is that supposed to be Marie Antoinette?
Can we talk about all the different styles of music and dancing? And this is incredible.
You mean we don't mix Les Mis with heavy metal every day?
Yes, we do. Yes, you are incredible. I mean,
no. Is there a version of this with no fucking commentators? There probably isn't, is there?
More moments later.
All right, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there is, so we're just gonna have to suffer through it. But we'll enjoy what we can.
We just want metal after Les Mis, after Can.
Oh, that is sick. We need to pause on that in a second.
Marie Antoinette that you saw there.
Okay, let's talk about this really quick. So I'm just gonna have to assume, not being familiar with that building, that those platforms that they're on were built there beforehand. Obviously, there's not going to be, ledges like that out there all the time. At least I wouldn't think. But my first thought seeing that is like they have to be hooked in. And yes, they are. You can see like they are fully strapped in up there with safety harnesses just in case they fall. And that is a normal thing that you would see at concerts, not even in a situation like this where it's like outdoors and stuff. Most of the time when artists are going up on lifts and stuff, they will have like a safety. At the very least, they will have a bar behind them with kind of a curve that they can rest their back into, like if they're just going on lifts or something. But yeah, obviously they're not going to have any risks or chance with wind that these guys are going to fall off. So that is a pretty cool contraption there right away. Oh my God, dude. Some of these shots now when they're backed out show you how high up they really are, dude. So all the pyro that you can see up front too is obviously all tied together. You could easily use DMX cable to tie all that together and run it to a controller somewhere. So I don't know if this is time coded for sure. I would be willing to guess for something like the Olympics, it might be. But if it wasn't time coded and not being automatically triggered, there is somebody with a console somewhere hitting all of those cues for all of those. But my money for this is that it's time coded because it was for live TV. Like it has to be. I'm going to dig in after this video to more the imagery and stuff, because I'm curious what this building is. I don't know. If that makes me an idiot with history, I'm sorry. But that is 100% without a doubt Marie Antoinette, who I believe was the queen of France when the French Revolution in the late 1700s happened. Because, I mean, she famously beheaded by a guillotine, and that woman did not have a head. Let's keep going with this, because I don't know who the opera singer is. I know they were performing with an opera singer, but this performance seems like it is very much highlighting Gojira, which is surprising to me. I did not expect that for a metal performance at the Olympics, nonetheless. Let's go. Dude, this is so cool, man. Like, I'm a little choked up as a metalhead seeing not only a band I love, but just a band like this, like, on a stage like this. Oh, damn. That's all falling into the river. So those streamers have to be biodegradable. There's no way that they would do that if they weren't. Okay, let me regain myself, because like I said, that's a little emotional seeing that. Like, yeah, metal, let's go. I'm going to start doing this is going to be weird for this video, because usually I like to let the camera run and just go, but I'm going to kind of do some research while I'm sitting at my computer and maybe talk about some more things. And I also don't know how much of me watching that performance is going to be able to be in this video, because copyrights, national TV, international TV, stuff like that. So this might end up being a weird cut of a video, but I'm going to look up a bunch of stuff and maybe find out, because obviously that is not a Gojira song I know. Like, I don't know what it was. I'm going to look it up and find out. But yeah, so let's dive into all that.
2 very boring minutes later.
So I'm an absolute idiot. I actually just started looking up information, just kind of doing a background dive into this, and recorded for the last 4 minutes and realized I wasn't recording. So let's just recap what I've already found. So apparently the opera singer that joined them is a French-Swiss opera singer, 38 years old, named Marina Viotti. Viotti. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not familiar, but she seems like extremely award-winning. So I would venture to guess that in that style of music, and also over in Europe, probably a pretty big deal. To me, not being into classical singing and opera, I don't know much. But the thing that I'm absolutely shocked about with this performance, as I said before, is that the highlight on this actually seemed to be on Gojira. Like, I was expecting when I heard they were performing with an opera singer that they were just going to be kind of a backing band and the focus was going to be on the singing, but it was absolutely not. And that is very, very cool for these guys. Like, I can't imagine how they felt not only getting to do this, but to do this in their home country at the Olympics. I mean, that is super awesome. Now, as for the song itself, I know that wasn't a Gojira song, so I had to start doing some research. Apparently, the song is called Seira. Ira. My pronunciation in French is absolutely terrible. I'm sorry to any French people that see this, but from what I found, that is an extremely popular song that actually became like the unofficial anthem of the French Revolution around 1790. So it's starting to make sense to see the imagery with beheaded Marie Antoinette and the fact that they basically redid a metal version of the theme of the French Revolution. And from what I found, they actually attributed that phrase, which translates to, in English, it'll be fine. They actually attributed it to Benjamin Franklin, which kind of blew my mind. And from what I found, Benjamin Franklin was very popular amongst the French people when he was an ambassador on the Continental Congress in, I think it was like 1776 through 1784. I will correct myself on screen if that's wrong from my memory. But I guess when they used to ask him about the American Revolution, he would respond in very broken French, "Ça ira, ça ira," which it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So that's kind of an interesting piece of history right there, man. Now that all this imagery is being tied together, I'm wondering if the castle-looking thing that they performed has any significance to this too, considering everything. I bet it does. I haven't looked that up yet, so let's dive into that. So I was right, it appears, that place does have some significance to the song, the performance, the imagery, everything. This place is called the Conciergerie. Sorry, my learning German has messed up my pronunciation of any other language. So again, any French people that see this, I'm sorry. It says it is a former courthouse and prison in Paris. During the French Revolution, 2,780 prisoners, including Marie Antoinette, were imprisoned, tried, and sentenced at that location, then sent to different sites to be executed by guillotine. And it is now a national monument and museum, which can turn this conversation into a different thing for a second. But yeah, aside from the performance itself, that's got to be one of the most fucking metal things I've ever heard, dude. Like, insane. Since it is now a museum and historical site, the red tape, and excuse my pun from the confetti, but the red tape and paperwork that had to have gone into this to have pyro that close to the building, flames that close to the building, and pyro actually coming out of it, that had to have been absolutely insane, man. Considering that is like a national monument pretty much. But this is awesome, dude. I mean, this puts metal on an absolutely huge worldwide stage for a lot of people to see that normally wouldn't. And I could probably already be willing to bet that Gojira's style of metal probably isn't for everybody, especially to people that don't listen to metal. But I've actually been saying this for a very long time. While the metal community has embraced Gojira and we look at them as a legendary band, I think they're probably one of the more underrated bands when you consider like legacy and pioneering bands and stuff like that. Like, they have done so much for the metal world, and I would actually put them up there in terms of importance with the likes of like Metallica and bands like that. I mean, they are, we've said this amongst metalheads, like they are the modern day Metallica, in my opinion. And it's been awesome over the years to see them blow up, because when they started getting big a handful of years ago, everybody thought they were a new band, but I mean, they have been around for quite a long time. And this is just awesome, dude. I'm actually very curious to see what being on a stage like this will actually do for like their upcoming tours or maybe record sales. Like, I wonder what their Spotify looks like right now. I mean, their Spotify is at about 2 million monthly listeners right now while I'm recording this video, and this is about 24 hours after the opening ceremonies. So I would have been curious to see what it looked like before that, and maybe what it's going to look like maybe a day or two from now too. So, and I wonder if this opens the door for more metal bands to get on a big international stage like this in the future. But anyways, man, thank you guys for watching. If you have any thing to add, if I got any of that history wrong, or there's any other cool facts that you guys may have seen about this already that I haven't, please drop them in the comments, because I'm like super interested in like everything about this at this point. And I will probably dig in more after I get done with this video, but I gotta pack and I gotta get ready to go on tour, and I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to do videos while I'm out there, but I'll probably do some vlogs and stuff. So if you want to keep up with me on social media, my handle is @TankTheTech on just about everything. I might try and stream on Twitch here and there, which you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech. God, don't make any bad jokes about that. TankTheTech. But until next time, man, wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I will see you very soon.